This video is about how to write the trig function from a given graph. For 8a, the following diagram shows the graph of f of x equals this. For x between 2 and 10, there is a maximum point at p for 12 and a minimum point at q 8, -4. Use the graph to write down the value of a, c, d. First of all, let's talk about this sine function. For a, we call this amplitude. This a equals maximum minus minimum over 2. Then for this d, we call vertical shift. D equals maximum plus minimum over 2. So for this d, we call this is a midline. It's a middle point between maximum and minimum. This c, we call this is a starting point. Depending on the function. For this b, that's a period equals 2 pi over b. In other words, this b equals 2 pi over period. How to get the period? You can use two nearest maximum points. We try to find the horizontal distance. This is p. Or you can use a minimum point. Then this distance will be p. We call this is a midline. For y equals d, you can find every other point. Then this distance will be p. Or you can use one is a maximum point, one is a minimum point. This distance will be p over 2. In other words, for p equals 2 times absolute value of x coordinate of maximum minus x coordinate of minimum value. From the graph, you will have 4 ways to figure out this period. Therefore, for this a, that equals maximum minus minimum over 2. Let's use capital M stand for maximum. Then lowercase m stand for minimum points. From the given graph, we can figure out the maximum point, that is 12. Minimum point equals -4. So we plug in here, you will get 12 minus -4 over 2 equals 8. And for d equals maximum plus minimum over 2. So we have 12 plus -4 over 2 equals 4. According to the given graph, we know this is a midline. This is a one period of a sine function. C, we call this is a starting point. Starting from where? look at this x. They said from 2. Therefore, c equals 2. Let's check this b. For the b equals 2 pi over p. Period. Since we know this is a minimum point, this is a maximum point. The distance, it will be 8 minus 4 equals to 4. Therefore, the period equals 4 times 2. That's 8. We plug in here, b equals 2 pi over 8. That's pi over 4. So we can write down y equals, a here is 8 sine pi over 4 x minus 2, then plus 4. This is the trig function. For 8b, show that b equals pi over 4. We already figure out this b equals pi over 4. But if you see show that, you will see period equals 8 minus 4 times 2 equals 8. b equals 2 pi over p. Therefore, it's pi over 4. For 8c, find the derivative of f prime of x. We do know that it's for sine derivative equals cosine x. Therefore, f prime of x equals, look at this. We will do this first. So you get the 8 cosine pi over 4 x minus 2. Then according to the chain rule, working on this inside derivative inside, do the distributive property first. So pi over 4x minus pi over 2. Then you do derivative. You will get pi over 4. Constant number will be 0. Therefore, you multiply by pi over 4. Derivative of this constant number 4 will be 0. Then I organize. You will get 2 pi cosine pi over 4 x minus 2. Now let's go to 8d. At a point r, the gradient is negative 2 pi. Find the x coordinate of r. Gradient, which means derivative, you will set up f prime of x equals negative 2 pi. So we have 2 pi cosine pi over 4 x minus 2 equals negative 2 pi. Divided by 2 pi both sides. You will get the cosine pi over 4 x minus 2 equals negative 1. For cosine that equals negative 1, that's pi. For pi, you have negative 1, 0, 0. This is a CST, which means cosine pi equals 0. Therefore, you will set up inside. Let's do distributive property first. You will get pi over 4x minus pi over 2 equals pi. Add pi over 2 both sides. You get the pi over 4x equals 3 pi over 2. Then multiply by 4 both sides. Then divide by pi. you will get the x equals 6. Since this 6 is in the domain between 2 and 10, therefore, this is the correct answer.